Hello and welcome to Passerine Crafts. Just looking to make sure that my video is working correctly and it's not too far away. I actually made a video not that long ago and I looked and I'm like, man alive, that's really far away. Nobody can see what I'm doing. But yes, welcome to Passerine Crafts. This is my first ever video. I figured since this is a crafting channel, I will craft while I am talking. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit of an introduction, kind of say what this channel is going to be about, and what to expect, basically. So to start off, this is a gem art by, and again, I say again because I've already done this video. By the way, I don't edit, so you get what you get. So I don't know if it's Luiitis or Lviitis, or this could even just be Roman numerals. I really don't know. But this is the company. And then it's a 30 by 40. And actually, I don't even know if you can see that. Let me see here. So that is the name that I'm talking about. And it is a 30 by 40. And let me see if I can zoom out so you guys can really see what my whole picture is. So it's psychedelic mushrooms, or funky art, or whatever you want to call it. So they have little eyeballs in them, which is super cute. So 30 by 40 centimeters, so that's roughly about 16 inches from fabric to one end of the fabric to the other, by 12 inches. And then if you look at the actual picture itself, it's going to be 12 by 10. So let me go ahead and zoom back in again, just so you guys can see what I'm doing this time. So I'm going to work on this little section right here. And honestly, you don't need to see what I'm doing, but some people do. Some people like to see it. So I'm going to be using number 1, which is kind of like a dark reddish color. And I am going to be, like I said, talking as I am crafting. And I really like to do this because I say a lot of ums and I am word searching a lot. So in order to prevent some of that, sometimes my brain just needs to keep on doing something in order for me to talk normally. So how did I start crafting? Well, actually, I should start with the name. So my daughter actually named Passerine Crafts. Passerine Crafts is actually I actually have a very, very small section of a store. It's basically a shelf. I have a shelf that I sell different products on. And I'll talk about what I do, and you guys can take a look at any point. But I also have a Facebook page and an Etsy shop. So not everything is diamond art related. The majority of this channel is going to be diamond art because it's my favorite thing to do, and I'll kind of explain why. But yeah, so she came up with the name and the design. And so passerines are perching birds. So like, for example, a mockingbird is a perching bird. A cardinal is a perching bird. Mourning doves, that sort of thing. So she had read a book and the title had passerine in it, and she really liked that word. And so she incorporated it into my name, and then she also made the design. So this is the design she made. She loves rainbows. She feels like crafting should be about coloring and being bright and using all the entire spectrum of colors. So that's why she chose what she chose, and because she's cool like that, I decided to keep it. So that's how Passerine Crafts came about. So I have 3 kids, and so that's my middle child who kind of came up with my name and my my design, my logo. So how did I get into crafting? So I got into crafting. I mean, as a teenager, I would craft. I would draw, I would color, I would do puzzles, I would scrapbook. I mean, I would crochet. I would even attempt to sew. I am not a good sewer by any stretch of the imagination, but I made a skirt. I was very proud of that skirt. I really knew how to take apart the machine and put it back together. That's really what I enjoy doing about sewing. But yeah, so I have done lots of different crafting throughout my lifetime. When I had kids, and like I said, I had three. Life gets busy, and a lot of times people feel like, and I'm not speaking for everybody by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm not even saying it for myself, but I do know that there are people out there that do feel like when moms in particular, when they have kids, they feel like they lose themselves, meaning they don't do the things that they enjoy anymore. They used to play instruments, or they used to, sew or craft or do whatever, and then they stopped doing that. And it's true for me too. I stopped doing it, but I kind of see it in a different way. So crafting to me fills my heart, like fills my basket, whatever my basket is wanting for that time, right? And same thing with music. Music is the same way for me. I love music. It fills my soul up. But when you have kids, you have not a whole lot of time, and it's the child is filling your soul. The child is filling your basket, essentially. And that's the way I kind of saw it. Is I didn't feel like I was losing myself in the slightest. I always felt like they are filling me enough, where I felt like I didn't need to craft at the time. Now my kids are teenagers, and they don't want anything to do with me. Okay, that's a joke, sort of. They really actually do like spending a lot of time with me, but it's more of like, not so much of like, I need you to do something for me. It's more of like, they like the companionship, which I appreciate. So I got into crafting again to go back to the things that I really love to do. So back in 2020, when COVID was at its peak and we were all getting vaccinated, or at least healthcare workers were definitely getting vaccinated, I started getting really sick, started developing neurological problems, along with some GI problems where I couldn't eat. I was very, very sick. I'm not getting into the details or anything like that, but I just want to say I was very sick and I developed a neurological tremor. So it was starting to affect my job. So what I did was I ended up going and purchasing a diamond art kit, because I was thinking, what is more fine motor skill based than a diamond art kit? And I knew nothing about diamond art. I literally probably bought the biggest thing that I could see on the shelf, and I was way over my head with that one. It took me almost a year to finish. But what I would do was I would hold my arm so I could place the gems one at a time. And that was just how I was able to get better, sort of. I'm not 100%. I'm never going to be 100% again. When I'm tired, I do tend to shake. But for the most part, my tremor is nearly non-existent. So that's how I kind of got back into crafting. And since then, I have continued to develop some other crafting skills that I enjoy. So, what do I do as far as crafting? I obviously do gem art. I don't think this will ever stop. It's kind of a passion for me. It's also easy for me to like watch videos and listen to music and kind of take my mind off things when I'm doing gem art. But I also do, because I do sell at a store, and I do not sell diamond paintings at the store. I sell beaded bracelets. I don't have any right now, but they're just like little glass beaded bracelets. And what I do is I like everything to be original. So it's the one bracelet is what you get. Like I'm not going to mass produce that one design. So it's usually that one bracelet is the original. So I will come up with all these ideas and I will store them in my brain. And then like it may take me about 2 weeks to come up with, I don't know, 20 to 30 bracelets. And then I will just go to town one day. Like I'll take a weekend and I'll just be like hammering out all these different designs. And then once those designs are gone, I'm back to doing some other craft because it's almost like I need to recharge again. Like I can't just do glass beaded bracelets because I don't have enough ideas to keep going. Not saying that I don't, it's just that it takes me time to kind of produce, like thinking inside my head, like, oh, this pendant would look really good with these colors. And, so it's not that it's easy to make a bracelet. It's super fast. However, it's not easy in the sense that I am coming up with a design. It's not like it's already out there like this is, right? Like this is this is time consuming. So this takes a lot of time and can be frustrating at times too. But beaded bracelets, they have this extra element of like coming up with my own design and seeing if it works, basically. So that's one thing that I sell in my store. Another thing is friendship bracelets. So a couple of examples, and I have a whole bunch. So like Finding Nemo. So I can do block lettering and I'm not talking about Swifty bracelets. I'm talking about like when you went to summer camp and you came home with a stack of bracelets. But these are kind of a little bit more high end in that I don't ever remember seeing people do the designs that I do. Which obviously there are people that do them now, but I don't ever remember going to camp. I remember doing chevron bracelets and candy stripe bracelets in camp. So this is a leaf bracelet. This is a fishbone bracelet. So you have, the design going one way and then it's also going another way. So it kind of has that illusion. This is a wave bracelet. So very cool. I don't like to do more than 2 colors on this type of bracelet. Fishbone bracelets, I only like to do rainbow, so pastel rainbow, neon rainbow, or just the normal, like the hard color rainbow colors. And then this kind of has an illusion, so it's a ribbon that's kind of like folding in on itself. And if you see here, it looks like I started to actually over exaggerate that a little bit. And then I must have forgotten what I was doing. I must have put it down and then started back up. And then you can see me tightening up the knots. So I think I had forgotten that I wanted to keep it loose, but it still came out really well in the end. So that's an example of my friendship bracelets. I also do paint by number. I don't do them quite as often as, say, for example, beaded bracelets or friendship bracelets or even gem art, because they do take a really long time and I feel like I'm not as good at it. It's a skill that I have not accomplished whatsoever. But that's okay, because the part of crafting is you make it into your own and you kind of explore and learn as you're going. So that's what I like about crafting. I also crochet and I do, loom hats. And my hats, I loom winter hats every year. I eventually want to get to the point where I am donating hats for the homeless. but I have yet to make enough funds to buy the amount of yarn that I would need in order to make that happen. So until that time comes, I do them seasonally, and I will mainly do them for my family. Let's see, what else do I do? I cross stitch, and my last cross stitch piece, let's just say I am not going to be picking up cross stitch again anytime soon, just because that was a beast of a project. It took me about 4 months to complete it, and I was doing it almost every single day. And I was getting frustrated. Right now I'm not frustrated. I'm not frustrated about it anymore. It came out really good. But in the process, I'm like, I just need to take a break from cross stitch. And then lastly, I do hair bows. So I haven't done a hair bow in about a year. I used to do them a lot when my kids are little, because they used to wear them, but now they don't. However, I did get some really nice looking ribbon that I think my daughter would really like. And if I could convince her to wear it, I will make it for y'all, and you guys can see how it turns out and tell me if you think that it's worth convincing my daughter to wear. So those are all the main things that I work on, and every time I pop on here, I may just be working on something completely random, or it may be an objective of like, okay, here's the thing that we're going to be talking about today. However, sorry, I'm trying to move on to the next color. Let's see. I have like these random colors here. Like I have 4 and 6 and F. I think I'm going to just fill those out before I forget. What else was I going to say? Oh, so my objective for this channel is a couple of things. I really like watching craft videos. I have noticed that a lot of the craft videos for diamond art specifically seem to be like ASMR or craft hauls where like people say, look what I got. I honestly, I'm not going to be doing that. What I am going to be doing is, I feel like trying to find a good diamond art piece is hard to find unless you are looking at Diamond Art Club or Diamond Dots is hit or miss too. But it's really hard unless you're spending a lot of money. And my objective is to find the diamond arts that are cheap, but are worth your time, are worth your while. And granted, there are people that just like the idea of just putting diamonds on a piece of paper and it sort of looks like something, but I want the quality to come out as well. So like, for example, this particular piece, I would choose whatever company, whether it's on Amazon or on Temu or wherever it comes from. I would go to that company and I would see if they have something that's 30 by 40, which is the smallest size that I will ever do. And then I will see if they have a bigger one. And I wanted to basically rank these companies to see the quality of their gems, or their drills rather. Kind of, does it look too pixelated to understand what it's supposed to be? Like some of them look so pixelated that, yeah, I can sort of like make out the image. But it's not something that I would hang up. It's something that I would give to my 90-year-old grandma who, has retinal detachment or something, because it just doesn't look as good as I would want it to look in my home. Yeah, so that's why I want to make those videos. Also, I want to make about once a month, I want to do a just a craft live, so like I said, I really like talking when I'm crafting. It seems to work out pretty well for me. But I also have seen a lot of people on Facebook who say, hey, I wish I could have some people to talk to when I'm crafting, blah, blah, blah. And that's a good way to do it, because you can get on, we can answer questions together, say, talk about our favorite movies and our favorite books, and yeah, like what you're working on, what's your favorite thing to do is outside of crafting, that sort of thing. So I really think that craft lives would be really nice. And then the last thing that I was thinking about doing was, so with each one of these ones that I buy, say for example, it's a 30 by 40, a lot of times people will say, how long did it take you to do that? Well, I don't use the multi-tool, so that's going to also kind of hinder me from doing something that may take somebody a shorter amount of time. But with the single placement, I always wonder, how long would that take somebody to do? And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on here and I'll speed up the video and kind of have a voiceover that's saying, this is what this is what the company is, this is how many colors I use, this is how much confetti it had, and this is how long it took me to do. Craft lives don't need to just be gem art. Craft lives can be, you want to work on paint by number, you want to work on crocheting or anything else, it's crafting. So, and that being said, I hope that you all, as I was talking and crafting, that you guys were able to craft along with me. That's my goal, is to hopefully have people that are crafting kind of alongside me, sort of speak, without actually being right next to me, but also get the joy of crafting in a community. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my very first video. I know I probably made a lot of mistakes, but this is a learning process, and I will figure it out as I go along. With that being said, happy crafting.